and one of John Prine's oldest friends and cronies and collaborators, and this is a nice surprise for you guys, I think. A guy who has started out great, has had more hits than we can count, and has worked hard at always getting better. If you ever want to know what's the best John Mellencamp album, it's the latest John Mellencamp album. Please welcome the great John Mellencamp.
Well, the movie wasn't really going so hot, said the new producer to the old big shot. We're dying here on the great Midwest. Sabu must travel or forever rest. Look here, Ma, comes the elfin boy, all wrapped up in his corduroy, headed down from Illinois to the jungles of East St. Paul. From the jungles of East St. Paul. Now, who writes songs like that? Now, who writes songs like that? Sophisticated, but simple. Two people come to mind, God and John Prine. John has a very likable way of having melodies that you can sing along with and words that you can dissect. John and I have known each other for a long time. John used to come and stay with me a lot of times. My favorite time, John and I tried to write songs together a couple times, and I knew like in 5 minutes I was just dead weight. It was just like, why don't you just write the damn song, John? I'm no help here. And then one time, John came to my house, and the people that worked for me said, John Prine's here. I said, he is? I said, yeah. They said, he's up in the guest house. John was there for almost 10 days. I never saw him. So I called him up, and I think we were supposed to write songs together or something. And I called him up, and they said he left. So I called him up, and I said, John, where'd you go? I didn't see you for like 10 days. He goes, well, John, I think we keep different time schedules. We're on different time schedules. And John and I made a movie together once. And it was the first day of shooting. And, I was directing. You could imagine how well that was going. I'd never directed a movie. John had never acted in a movie. I really just kind of went around and hired my friends. I don't think you even read for the part, did you, John? No, it was just, hey, you want to do this? Yeah, sure, I'll do it. So it was the first day, we had a lot of money for kids to spend, and we're landing this jet, and all Prine's got to do is get out of the car and say hello to somebody getting off the plane. Prine is so nervous that I go, action. He gets out of the car and he slams excuse my language, the fucking car door on his hand. This much of his hand is in the car door. And he's trying to walk. He's so nervous that he doesn't even know his hand is stuck in the door. So I walked over and unlocked it and opened the door. He said, oh, man, my hand was in the door. I said, yeah, I know. And he went like this, shook it off, shot the scene, never complained, and acted like it didn't happen. If that had been me, I would have been crying, going to the hospital, all kinds of stuff, but not Prine. And John taught me a lot of things, whether he knew it or not. Just listening to his songs. And I have to tell you guys, John Prine was one wild old boy when he was a kid. He was one wild fella. He was a natural born earth shaker, that guy. And he did. He shook it up. I know goddamn good and well that the record companies had no idea what to do with John Prine. What shall we do with a guy that writes like this? He's not country. He's not rock. What are we going to do with him? And he just said, to hell with you. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And he did it. And I'm sort of ashamed of myself because John and I had a really nice, easy rapport between us for many years. But when John got sick, I didn't know how to handle it. So I just quit talking to him. That's the way I handled it. Not very well. And so I thought about calling him 100 times and talking to him. And every time I thought about him, I could just see that John Prine smile. He had that smile and that laugh that just made you just want to laugh along with him, And John, I'm sorry for not calling you all those years ago. But seeing you again after 10 years, I feel like 5 minutes have gone by. So, listen, John Prine has been a great inspiration for all of us. I'm proud to have spent the time that I've spent with him and got to know him personally. And I can tell you, if you want to give me the hook, because I got 50,000 stories, about John Prine. But John, I love you, and I'm proud of you, and congratulations.